A lot of times I'm driving, there's nothing to do, and I shuffle through the radio before I unglue. There's a lot of red on ways, it's traffic, I'm screwed, and I'm wired a bit different than a regular dude. It's not a bad thing, I embrace it, it's true. The radio don't stimulate brain chemistry fluid. The Buddha found nirvana and the Four Noble Truths. Through a meditative process, right action he proved. For me, I require the use of a tool, a detector, pin, pointer, shovel, and beach scoop. I'm meant to work the dirt with my history crew, but everywhere I look, my interest taboo. Most people choose Bieber over Tippecanoe. What does a detectorist listen to when the radio is full of bad music and news? I need an alternative for me to peruse. Beyond Sight and Sound gets fantastic reviews. A metal detecting show where my thought bubble brews. Thank you, Josh Kimmel, for inviting me to a detecting dork out with guests like yours truly.
All right. It's that time. It's time for Beyond Sight and Sound. Let's do this.
Hey boys and girls, we are going to talk about S&W shooters and prospectors. What is S&W shooters and prospectors?
We at S&W Shooters and Prospectors help people find treasure.
Did you say treasure?
Yes, treasure. Just listen to this amazing review from our happy customer, Jackie Sparrow.
Chuck was ship-shape and a pleasure to deal with. I was able to buy everything that I needed at prices that were shillings less than others. I found my 9 pieces of 8 in no time. Savvy?
I know you're asking yourself, why should I shop at S&W Shooter and Prospectors?
Chuck Smalley has over 45 years of metal detecting experience. He works with each customer one-on-one to customize their setup to match their skill level.
So if you always dreamt of being a pirate, contact Chuck at S&W Shooters and Prospectors and he'll dig up a great deal for you.
iPads and rum not included.
Caution. Please do not operate motor vehicles or power equipment while under the influence of this show. Listening to this show could cause side effects such as bouts of laughter, violent binges of cabin fever, and even dreams of silver and gold. Please be advised. Now that the fine print is out of the way, on with the show.
All right, we're back. We're live. And for those that Swansea's in the house. Well, I should have put in a promo tonight that you need to pay very close attention. Definitely. Let's see here what's going on. Okay. Well, we'll try that and see. So, for those tuning in, obviously, you're going to want to be very, very closely paying attention tonight. I had mentioned that in Wednesday's episode. People are going to want to be paying very close attention. And I will mention that again tonight. You will definitely want to make sure to be very closely paying attention to things, as I'm jumping back and forth between screens here to figure out what in the world where did my little audio gremlin come from tonight. I don't know. We'll roll with it anyway. Maybe I can figure it out at another point. Hopefully it's not too bad. I don't know. We'll find out when we start getting the rest of the gang in here, though, because we have a number of people to bring in. And I would imagine by this point, hopefully the audio is fine. Hopefully everyone hears it okay. But I see that Mark's in, the Bortners are in, Alan, Chuck, Dennis, Old Pelon in the house, Swansea, Barb. I would imagine the Bills are in. Barks Detecting is in. Shout out to Kevin. Frankie Juarez. Good to see. Good to see. All right. Well, let's see what happens here. We will... People have shifted positions on me here. All right. We'll go with this one. And get Chuck in here. How's it going, Chuck?
How's it going, Josh?
Okay.
Or at least your audio here is crisp, it's clear, but Mark says that the crackle is just you getting older.
He knows not how true that is. That's all I'll say.
Yep. So we got a good show. Boy, everybody, I hope you're all on your toes tonight. You wanna listen in close, and that's all I'm going to say. Hey, Janet.
Yep.
So
tonight, one listener will win their registration ticket into Chicago Dig Fest 2025 in Wisconsin. I know it sounds strange, but that's where it is this year.
Yep. Sounds good to me. Chance to win a free one? Yes.
Yeah. Now, and like I said Wednesday, that is just your registration. That does not cover the meet and greet. That does not cover the meal. That does not cover your travel, nor your lodging. But
entry for the
$130. Yeah, $130, $140 prize that you're winning for free. I guarantee you will walk away from this event with more than what you paid in registration.
Yep. Hey, how are you doing, Mike? Barb, we've got a schedule of events on the website there for Josh posted up. You can see the dates and the times.
Oh, for Dig Fest?
For Dig Fest. It's in September.
Yep, the dates and the times are all right there on the flyer. And she can also check out the Illinois Metal Detecting Association Facebook group, which is tagged in tonight's promo. Or she can check out Chicago Dig Fest page, which is also tagged in the promo.
Got it. You got it.
So they've got it all right there at their fingertips.
Hey, this thing's been occupied, they're saying, for around 200 years up there. So you just don't know what you might come up with on the wild side. Kind of remote, kind of quiet. So it'll be a lot of fun. May even get to see Blackberry. You never know.
Well, like I said, you don't have to worry about whether or not you're faster than the bear, just faster than the guy behind you.
Right. Randy DeMario, will cabins be available on site? I would say that you need to ask John and Alan when the boys get on here, and they'll take you through how to get the cabins lined up. My guess is they're going to go rather quickly.
I would think, and we'll have some great information about that as well as some other updates. And John and Alan aren't the only ones that we'll have on tonight. We'll also have somebody that can really give us some input on the cabins, I would imagine. So let's get John and Alan here.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, hey, everybody. How's it going?
John.
Hi. Good to see everybody.
Good to see you, Alan.
How are you all tonight?
Truly all the aristocrats are here. Holy cow.
We got,
wow.
We're still rolling in. Illinois Digger Tim showed up. How you doing, Tim?
Yeah.
And
Claudia, welcome.
I knew what I was.
Hello, Claudia.
Hello, Claudia. Barks Detecting wants to know if I'll be delivering White Castles again. I'll tell you what, if there's one close enough, not a problem. I go that extra mile to make my people happy. We know this. Who else would do that at 1 o'clock in the morning after a full day of detecting? Come on, let's be for real. For those who don't know, I went out and I brought the guys that were awake. I brought two full cases of White Castle. So people are hungry at night. What can you do?
Cool.
Very true.
Yeah.
From the looks of the map, you might be driving a ways to find a White Castle.
Long ways.
Long ways.
Listen, I'll do it. If I need to do it to make people happy, Alan is more than willing to drive. That's all I'm saying.
Thanks for volunteering me.
Yeah. Yeah. Whatever it takes for me to make you happy, Alan's more than willing to do it. Hi, Janet. How are you, sweetheart?
Hi, Janet. How are you tonight?
Well, I wonder if we've got everybody done rolling in yet or not.
I don't know.
Because if they're not, they could help. And I would have thought that we would have seen some Wisconsin peeps in the chat.
Well, maybe they're out shagging the cows right now, and they're going to come back and watch the video later. Never know.
Tipping the cows?
Well, shagging them, tipping them, doesn't whatever. I say shagging because that's in Lithuanian. That it's translated in English where you go get them and you bring them in to get milk. So it's hard to translate, but shagging would be the best terminology that I could use.
I guess.
Alan, clean your glasses.
Somebody.
You're sitting too close to the computer.
What was that, Josh?
I said somebody should drag Scott McClure out.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yep. To answer that question earlier, yes, there'll be cabins available.
Yeah, we're going to go through absolutely everything you need to know.
And how to do it.
Everything you need to know about Dig Fest will be tonight. And if there's ever questions, you go back and watch this again on YouTube, and it should be answered.
And we may even go through.
Okay, we'll
We're
do
at another point.
I'll take care of it.
We'll revisit because, as we know, like Alan said, people, have a hard time. Like this person, gave me a ticket since I'm not on Facebook. Yeah, that's fine. We could do that. Just contact Alan. But we'll be updating always, right? Because we know that there's never, ever anything in concrete, especially the day of, right? The things get shifted around, times get shifted around. But one thing stands true is, and I'm gonna say this, and it's gonna sound like a song, but we want to make sure everybody's happy, and that's the constant with us, right? Like most other hunts. But things will change, so we're gonna be on more often. The closer we get to the date, we're gonna be on and updating people if there's any updates. Please, as Chuck mentioned, make sure you check Facebook consistently, because I will put asterisks and then update, and I'll just keep adding it to the featured on our Facebook page.
Yep.
So if there's anything new coming up, you can just go there, it'll show it. I'll stack them. So the oldest one will be at the bottom, updates, and then the newest ones will be at the top.
Correct.
Yeah. Alan, anything to add to that?
No, but there will be a lot of stuff being added because we're still talking about doing more things that has not been announced and not on that flyer. So there'll be a lot more coming.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. And the last time I knew, we were still trying to decide on what the meal was going to be and all of that stuff.
That's handled, baby. I got it all. Not all of it, but I got it. We're good. So I'm going to give a little, whenever we're ready to get rolling on the info. So Alan has some stuff. I have some stuff. And then our other guest is going to have some stuff. But I just want to say, if you don't mind me starting it, I would like to say that we are so excited to have this happen at Camp Makajuan. I mean, when was it? Who would have thought back in, hold on, brain fart. Chuck, what was the year that they came out with the metal detector, the first swinging metal detector?
1874.
1874. Right? I mean, honestly, that's the big one, right? The big circles and the guy's like with two hands.
And that's what they were trying to find the bullet. They shot, as a Garfield, they used the detector.
Yes. Yeah.
And it worked, but it didn't work. It didn't work because they couldn't find a bullet because he was laying on a steel bed frame.
Yeah. Right.
They kept digging at him, and eventually he died from blood loss.
Yeah. So 151 years ago, 1874. Who would have thought that we'd be in Camp Makajuan detecting almost 200-year-old campground?
Say the name of that campground again.
Makajuan.
Makajuan. Okay.
Let me spell it? I can spell it.
I saw it wrote out, and I'm like, okay, Makajuan.
Yeah. Yeah. So where was I going? Okay. Yeah. So I mean, we're really excited about it, and we're not trying to be. There's another one that travels, and we're not trying to be like them, but it's hard living in Illinois, it's not very rural up north where we're at. And then let's be honest, some of these farms down south, they really don't want to rent out to clubs to have people come in, even though it's farm field or whatever. So we're trying to travel. We're trying to stay in the tri-state area as best as we can to accommodate everybody, and this year you may drive 6 hours, next year you may drive an hour. Right. But also with that, I want to make a statement. Somebody mentioned on Joss's Facebook page that their tickets were for sale for Chicago Dig Fest. And I'm going to tell you right now, that lady is 100% out of her mind. No tickets have gone out. No tickets have been sold. She may be thinking of Dig Stock. We're Dig Fest. They're Dig Stock. And she was kind of in a hurry to sell them, which makes me think it was Dig Stock because they're coming up in May. in North Carolina. It's May or June, something like April, May or June, and it's coming up quick in North Carolina. So that's my thought. So have no worries. We didn't do anything. Nothing, behind the scenes. Everybody, with the exception of Alan and myself and my staff, we're the first ones. But no tickets have been sold ever. So, any questions?
Just to be on the safe side, comment down.
Say that again.
Just to be on the safe side, we did take that comment down.
Oh, good. Yeah, because I was really pissed. Josh called me. I was almost mad at Josh. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. But it's down. That's good. That's good because we don't need bad press, right?
No.
Right.
That going on.
No.
So, Al, you want to do the dates? You want to tell them the dates, or you want me just to roll?
We can just start rolling because Dennis just put the dates up there.
Okay. So the dates for the hunt is September 13th, 12th, 13th, and 14th. Friday is the 12th. That's the meet and greet date. On Friday, for those who are traveling a distance, you're more than welcome to come up at noon, from noon on. Okay. And then the 13th is the hunt. And then the 14th, we're doing like we did at Ocaro, where you're able to come, you stay, you're asked to be out by 12. You're more than welcome to hunt. We asked that's going to be the coin and field cleanup. And that worked out really well for us. We got great response back from Mike, who runs the camp at Ocaro, and from Sam Dummer, that everything was immaculate. There were no holes. People did find stuff, though, which was really cool. Big suck. Yeah, I know, right? No, it's true.
There was a lot found on Sunday. A lot.
Yes, a lot of stuff found on Sunday. It was crazy. So, for the meet and greets, the MEAT and greets, it's $20 a person.
Yes.
And it's all you could eat. And if you ate there last time, you know it's going to be like this time. It's going to be the same, 100%. Saturday's going to be the regular schedule, just like it says on the flyer. We're working on Popeyes. We're going to have Alan has a connection up there with the Popeyes. Everybody liked Popeyes, so we said let's stay with that. And then Saturday morning, though, I'm working with Sam Dummer and a gentleman that he hooked me up with the Lions Club up there. I'm trying to do we're going to do like coffee cakes and coffee and tea and hot coffee, hot tea and like coffee cakes or something, or we're going to see if the Lions Club wants to come in and earn some money, or maybe the fire department that's at the front of the road when you first come into the campground, if they want to do stuff, and then they could have the boot out and people can just throw money in the boot and then they earn whatever they earn. And then Sunday you're on your own. In town, which is, I want to say, about a 7-minute drive. When you come out of the campground, you make a right. You get to the end of the road, you make another right, and you travel down into the town. There's this really nice little coffee shop, and we made her aware that there's going to be a lot of people. So she's going to be ready. So pretty much Friday's the meet and greet. Saturday you're covered. Saturday morning you're covered for lunch. And then Sunday you're on your own. So let's go to Saturday dinner. Saturday dinner, I was a judge on the KCBS circuit, Kansas City Barbecue Society circuit. And I worked there for about 7 years. And there is this, I called the one guy that I knew from Wisconsin, and he couldn't do it. And he turned me on to this other guy. This other guy is a 5-time state champion, 3-time national champion barbecuer on the circuit. Right now, what we're looking at is we're going to do smoked pulled pork, bacon, beans, mac and cheese, coleslaw, potato salad, rolls, cornbread, a relish tray that his wife puts together. So it's kind of like jardiniere and all kinds of specialty pickled stuff. Of course, the buns, the sauces, as you can tell, I'm reading off the menu and all that. So we're looking I'm working with him on this, and right now we're looking about between $21 to $23 per person. It may be a tad more, it may be a tad less. And of course, if it's less for you, obviously, and if it's a little more, then it's $1 or $1.50. But in a location where there's absolutely nothing within an hour, I think trying to keep people centrally located in our spot makes it best for everybody, right? Because if you go to a restaurant, you're still going to spend $17 to $23 anyway, and then you got to drive there.
Now, is this, you prepay when you pay for tickets?
Yes.
No.
So we're having we're going to have 3 different things on our PayPal. In PayPal, there's a note section, and I'll go through this again in every live. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to put down in your note section, obviously, for early bird, it's $130. And then in the message section, you're going to say, you'll do your total, and you'll say, hunt, meet and greet, dinner. And then you total that up, and then that's the amount you're going to send, friends and family. Don't put anything about DigFest. Don't put DigFest. Just put a slice of pizza icon or something. No words. Because as soon as you do that, they're going to gig us and they're going to start charging us. Then we have to start charging people the extra money, which we don't want to do. They charge us like $4 or $5 extra, which is crazy. And I'm going to be very open and honest. There's another KOA down the road you could stay at. But for the prices that you're going to hear about in about 2 minutes, the prices that we're doing for the cabins and the tents and your own tents and your cabbers and your pop-ups and whatever else, you under a tree with a canvas, we're beyond beating everybody's price. And as far as the food goes, we're beating everything. So we want you to be able to stay. We want you to be able to
food.
Huh? What's that?
You're not going to beat the food.
No. Did I say pulled chicken? Because I meant to say brisket.
You said pulled chicken.
Okay, so it's pulled pork, and then brisket is what we're looking at right now. Worst case scenario, it's going to be the chicken. But right now, we're working with brisket. That's my main goal. Because we're having chicken for lunch. Not really the same thing for dinner, but again, for the pricing, I think, and it just makes it a lot easier. They're going to serve us. They're going to cold out to us. They're going to have a little tip jar. Of course, we're going to tip them. But if you want to give them a little something, that's on you guys. But yeah, so we're really, Sam Dummer is the, he's I call him the Boy Scouts of America, or the Scouts of America God right now. He's our connect. And we went through everything. We talked and over-talked and over-talked and talked again about every way to make it possible for this hunt to be successful for the visitors, for the Boy Scouts of America, and for DigFest. So there's that.
Let me add one thing. When John said you can come Friday starting at noon, there is no digging in the campground on Friday at all.
No.
We're saving that till Saturday.
Right. But here's the thing, real quick. Sam will mention it again, I'm sure. You can fish. It's a huge lake. You can fish. We're working on canoeing, and you have 1,800 acres to hike on. And I'm sure they have some kind of a Frisbee thing, and the main field, which is going to be our open hunt, our seated hunt field, is 428,000 square feet.
If we use it all for a seated hunt.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. So, yeah, it's huge. If you look at the photos,
for open hunting too, though.
Yeah. If you look at the photos I put up today, you will see there's a picture of me with my kind of like my elbow out the window, and I took a shot this way. And then there's a picture of me with my out of the truck. I took a picture this way. And the little building that you see is this monster lodge. So that's how big this field is. So yeah, there's a lot of room. There's a lot of room for everything. I know I skated over some stuff, and I'm sure there'll be more. You can mag the fish, yes, Claudia. I'm sure there'll be more
Better get a
questions.
fishing license.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Hold on.
Yeah, I understand, but
Stop. Time out.
okay.
We have another guest here that will explain all of that to them and how it works on their campground.
Okay.
So if Josh wants to let Sam in.
Oh, now we can bring Sam in. Okay,
Yeah.
here's Sam.
Hey, all. Thanks for having
Hey,
me on.
Sam.
Hi, Sam.
Hi.
John Allen, good to see you again.
So, Sam, you want to go over some of the stuff about like the fishing, the possible canoeing, the hiking, and any of the little extra activities that they could do on Friday till dusk?
Yeah, we can certainly start off there, and I'll also start off by saying there's so much to cover here. Just with the Makajuan camp property itself, with Scouting America, with everything else you want to know. I've also been a really big buff of history. I was a history major in college, so you got to stop me, John and Josh and everybody else, because I will talk all night and we'll go on tangents left and right. But to answer your question about fishing and canoeing and things like that, so I will say this: during the normal summer, when we have the scouts on property, we don't require fishing licenses because we have all of the land around our main lake, which is Spring Lake on the normal maps. So because we're a private land around the lake, we're not going to be, checking wallets and IDs for a fishing license. That being said, the lake being public access, the DNR can come on at any point in time if they wish. And if they choose to do that, then that's the DNR's business doing that too. So if you'd like to support the local Department of Natural Resources and make sure that the environment can be upkept and things like that, Fleet Farm in town, the BP and Pickerel, they all have licenses available. If you like to go fishing and you want to catch a fish, do it because the lake is awesome. We also have 7 lakes on or bordering the property. 3 of them our property entirely surrounds. They'd be Hindu Lake on a map, Spring Lake, and then Muskrat Lake, which is also a floating bog with pitcher plants, and the water is slightly acidic, so it's kind of like walking on an air mattress. Then we've got Big Twin Lake, Little Twin Lake, Horseshoe Lake, Lost Lake, and Pickerel Creek, and we border Pickerel Creek on Pickerel Creek Road. So lots of water at Makajuan.
So let me ask you this: what normally happens? Like, does the DNR ever come on and ask? I mean, you guys are like in the middle of nowhere, and I'm from Chicago, so I'm always a guy to take the chance. But Alan likes to follow the rules. I like to bend them before they break. What do you think?
Well, here's my answer to that, John, and call me cliche if you will, but as a scout is trustworthy. And so if you're going to say you've got your fishing license, again, I'm not going to ask you to pull out your wallet. And, we have a really good relationship with the DNR at Makajuan Scout Reservation. I haven't personally talked to an agent in a while, but that being said, our ranger, Rory Fenstel, he lives up there year round. He's got a good rapport with the DNR. So, I mean, it's one of those, they scratch our back, we scratch theirs. I'm never going to say you shouldn't get a fishing license. It takes a few minutes at the local gas station. So, and again, it's just like getting a hunting license or a duck stamp. All the money goes into just making sure the environment and all of the animals still are there in the future. So that's my 2 cents on it. Take it for what you will.
Okay. So
also, be prepared on.
Yep.
I'm sorry, I lost that. I'm sorry, I didn't hear that part.
Also, we can buy licenses online.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but you could also go, like he said, you could go in town to the local gas station there with the 2 pumps and look across the street and see the house that's the restaurant. That great fish there, though. But
they do great fish fry and a great. They do great mac and cheese they do a brisket mac and cheese at Country Inn. And then that's also nearby Quiggs, Alan Quiggs Golf Course. He's the one that John's been working with the Lions Club. and the pickleball courts right there in Pickerel too, next to Margaret and Creighton's coffee shop there, Crane Lake Coffee.
That coffee shop was awesome.
Yep.
Just saying.
Sam, you also said there was a creek, correct?
Yep.
Now, a lot of people that metal detect have been getting into gold and sluicing and panning for gold. Can they try that in the creek also?
I will double check with my ranger Rory, and after the O'Carroll hunt that happened last September, as John mentioned, like everything was immaculate. So props to the Illinois Metal Detecting Association, everybody that was there, because your leave no trace and covering all your holes and putting the plugs back in, fantastic. So, leave it better than you found it. If you would like to try it in the creek, if we could have found gold in Pickerel Creek over the 96 years we've been at camp, you wouldn't just be sleeping on mattresses in the cabins. You'd be sleeping in a hotel.
Have you ever tried?
Nope, not to my knowledge. So if you want to go for it, so long as you're not redirecting where the creek goes or damming it up or anything like that. If you want,
no, there wouldn't be any of that.
Go for it.
Okay.
So there's a real quick question, and I have a follow-up question. So Jason Ware is asking if there's a one-day license. Do you know if there's a one-dayer up there?
That's outside of my realm of knowledge. I think the Google machine, Dr. Google, might have a better answer than I will. I'll be honest.
Detecting Bit said there's a 3-day minimum, 3-day non-residency one that he can buy. But again, right, you're right, Google.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to promote people not to do it. I'm sorry, Josh. Go ahead.
For most states, it's a weekend pass. A
3-day.
Okay.
3-day.
3-day? Okay.
And the event happens to be 3 days.
Yeah, just go figure. But they could use it. Like, first of all, I want to know, when he mentioned all these lakes and all these fish in these lakes, did anybody do a safety and welfare check on Frank Juarez?
Oh, he dropped out. He passed out, I'm sure.
Okay. Yeah, just somebody give a call to his wife or the neighbor and make sure he's okay.
Well, we've got northern pike in our lakes too, and they get pretty long. I've seen Cub Scouts catch the pike.
Really?
We also have nesting bald eagles on property, so I'm sure I'm planning to be up there. I mentioned it to my wife today. I was like, "Hey, by the way, I know camp is over in August, but I might go back up in September." When I'm up there, or I can ask Rory to, I can always take people over to go. You can see the bald eagle's nest. You can stand right by the tree and see it.
Oh, Frank's here. He woke up. He got up. We thought you passed out, Frank.
I was going to say, if he hasn't showed up here in a few minutes, we'll have Chuck send the cops by after the show.
Yeah, I can send somebody by and check him out.
We knew
his heart rate. You guys just put him into arrhythmia.
That's what I was talking about. He was here, and then we started talking about Sam started talking about the lakes, and all of a sudden, I don't see any Frank Juarez on here. I'm like, he must have passed out.
Frankie fishing.
Frankie fish. Yeah.
And the reason Sam this way, Frank is a consummate fisherman. He ties flies. He's a member of In Fishermen. We go to Alaska to go look for gold. If he doesn't find gold in 1 hour, he's gone, because there's northern pike, coho salmon, sea run Dolly Varden coming in. We're up in world-class fishing, and he's gone. You don't see him.
Well, then I should probably not mention that we're within a short spitting distance of the Wolf River, and there's a fishing landing right by County A, by Norm's Hollow's, the new campground grill right there. So,
and I imagine there's good walleye fishing in the Wolf.
There's not only good walleye fishing, there is a supper club called Walleyes within driving distance of the camp too. So they've got good walleye at Walleyes.
Somebody get the defibrillator out. Frank fell. Get the defibrillator.
All weekend.
Yep.
Poor Frank.
If I was riding with Frank, he'd come by, he'd kick the door open, knock me out on the ground, and drive away to the Wolf River.
The good thing is that we've got 4 AEDs at Makajuan, so we'll have one by
there. We're going to need them.
So, okay. So when we spoke, Sam, sorry, keep talking about Frank. We talked about the fishing. Obviously, there's the hiking. Any word on the canoeing and the safety measures that we're going to take if it's possible to happen?
Yeah, so I'm going to double check that with my boss. I have a good feeling that we'll probably be able to allow there to be we also have rowboats, so rowboats and canoeing. Like I said, I'll just have to double check. Normally during the summer when we're doing summer camp operations, we always have an aquatics director and lifeguards and things like that. But with this being a rental of our facility and with there being all of the paperwork that goes along with that, we'll just double check to make sure that we feel good. I know that y'all be responsible. So we'll just make a process and see how that's going to go. But at a very minimum, we have a pontoon boat, and I'm more than happy to drive a pontoon boat with folks on it if folks want to go out on the lake. Of course, not only for it being a scout camp, but also because it's the state of Wisconsin and we'll have PFDs in the boat or on you at all times.
Sure.
We'll always have a rescue boat at the ready in case it's needed, because as Josh pointed out, be prepared. So gotta make sure everyone's safe.
Yeah, good. And everybody has to wear, no matter what, you have to wear the goofy looking life jacket.
We got cool looking ones too.
Oh, you do? Cool.
Oh yeah.
I hate them because they're always like this.
Yeah, no, we've got the vest ones too. So all well and
good. Good. So could you give us a little bit more? I mean, we've talked about the camp before, but for those who don't know, if you could give us a real quick history of the campground. Josh, I'm taking over your podcast, Josh. Sorry.
So Makajuan Scout Reservation is a scout reservation because we have more than one camp on it. We have East Camp, West Camp, and Camp Wabaningo. And the camp has been around in one form or another since 1929. It's owned and operated by the Northeast Illinois Council, which is how we got connected with John and the club, because we own property down here in Wadsworth and just by Wilmot Mountain. Our council serves scouts in Lake County and then the sliver of Cook County along the shoreline down to Evanston. And in the early 1900s, our leadership at the time was like, this whole Chicago thing is getting pretty big. There's not going to be a lot of nature here. So let's get some land where there's going to be land still. So they went up to Wisconsin, found this property in 28, built a camp there. It was a freshly logged timber country. So it was all virgin growth that was just clear cut and left. So the original camp was an old logging camp. In 1929, we got it. That was the camp for many, many years until about 1958, 1959. We purchased the farm across the lake, which is where the hunt's going to be this year, Skidmore Farm. And that was a potato farm, a couple of other crops. And that's why that field is so large and so flat and devoid of trees, because it was a farm field for a long, long time. And then on the south end of the lake used to be a seasonal fishing resort. So that's where the cabins, the older, larger cabins come from that everyone will be able to rent. And we purchased that along the time there. So that got us the land around the main lake. And then in 1969, 1970, we purchased the hobby farm across the County Highway T at Camp Wabaningo. Legend has it that it was owned by the Sausage King of Sheboygan. So I don't know if that's a Kirkland's Best or Members Mark brand of Ferris Bueller's Day Off, the Sausage King of Sheboygan. Hobby farm apparently, and that got us the maintenance barn, our trekking base, a couple other cabins. So that rounds out our 1,560 acres of prime Northwoods real estate.
That's amazing. History and all of that is phenomenal.
And you were salivating when I was mentioning too that because of our logging history, over in Wabaningo, there's an old rail bed from the logging company days. There's the remnants of an old farmhouse by our entrance road that is no longer there. And with us being us, we have a lot of pictures and history of different locations and different places on the property. And we're only about 4 years away from our centennial. So a lot of exciting stuff happening, and us being able to open this is huge.
Can you go into the cabins also?
Oh, what about that, Alan?
Can you?
We're going to. We're going to.
Look
We're
at the
building
time.
up to it. What's that?
Look at the time.
Listen, Josh is letting me run this.
Okay.
So.
Okay, go ahead.
No, okay. So we got that down. It won't be the first time Josh ever went over. So that's the history. So because it's so big, we were talking to I forget the gentleman's name at the golf course.
Oh, Alan Quigg.
Alan, yeah, I have his name. Alan Quigg. He rents, and we're going to talk to him about renting for those who would like it, golf carts. And what he does, from what I understand, Sam told us that he brings it to the campground for you. Yep. And then you sign whatever, and then he comes and picks them up, and so you don't have to walk, 7 miles to get to the other side or whatever, wherever you're going. You can take the cart on your own. Okay, so the fishing, the canoeing, the hiking. So before we talk about the cabins, let's talk about the safety with the propane off at this time. Really quick, you can go over that, and then bleed right into the cost of the rentals.
Yeah, absolutely. So the cabins that we have, they have propane going to the stoves. They have wood-fired heating stoves in there as well. But after the summer season is done, we do wind things down. So before the frost happens, which is, I'm going to say way beyond, but it's northern Wisconsin, so not that far away from September. We always turn the water off before the frost, but we always keep it on, through September for our own volunteer worker weekends and then for events such as this. But we will most likely have off is going to be the propane tanks. So not to worry though, because John and his team have all the food taken care of if you're going to go that route. And there's also a wonderful amount of local restaurants that we mentioned earlier in the area. And we'll have little sheets if people are interested in the local points of interest. So that you're never too far away from making sure you've got food and water and all those fun things. So, but with the cabins, so we have a couple variety, a smorgasbord, if you will, of cabins. The most basic level of cabin, we call them bungalows or stumps, and they have 2 beds in them. These beds all will be twin XL mattresses. So if you want to bring just a sleeping bag, that's fine. If you want to bring XL bed linens, if you want to take them from your college students' linen closets, you can bring them up to camp. Twin XL mattresses, and they got electricity. All of these cabins will have electricity, and doors that open and close and windows open and close. They're relatively new too, so you still might smell the Home Depot smell on the inside of those bungalows. So those 2-person cabins, they're going to be $60 for the whole weekend. So if you split that between 2 people on there, it's $30 for the whole weekend. Those cabins are on the property, and actually the ones that I'm talking about here, those smaller ones, they're within sight of the field where the dig's going to be. So if you wanted lodging close to the event, you can literally walk out the front door and you're right there. There's no closer cabin that you'll get than that for $30 a person a weekend, but we're only selling the cabins per cabin. So $60 for the whole weekend for those smaller ones. We've got about 20, 25 that are right there. And if demand for them, grows, John and I talked about, we have the other side of the lake. We might talk about, opening some of those up too, but that's a bridge that we'll cross when we get there. We also have cabins, like I mentioned, in the old fishing resort area of the property, and those are a bit larger. They range in size from 2-person cabins all the way up to 6-person cabins, but these differ in that they have running water on the inside, whether it be with a sink, but also they have porcelain toilets. So around the camp, we've got what we call
splitters.
Right. We just built these new latrines that are also storm shelters. They're concrete. If you go to any sort of state park, national park, these are on par with how awesome they are. And I know it's to talk about really great toilets, but these latrines are really nice. But these cabins have porcelain in the cabin. The 2-person cabins with the porcelain are, look at my notes here, $80. And there's 2 cabins that fit that bill. And then there are a bit larger cabins that sleep 4 or 5 that are $120 for the whole weekend. And again, running water with the porcelain toilets in there as well. And then the largest cabins sleep 6 on mattresses, and that's $160 for the whole weekend.
Now, with those, with those. So let's say like Alan and he's got 5 guys, but let's say 2 other guys, they want to do some Greco-Roman wrestling in one of the rooms, but they want extra people to stay and sleep with them. We have cots that are available also, correct? How much are those a night?
Oh yeah. So we have cots available for renting, just to help make sure that everything stays nice, and to give you a little bit of buy-in so you don't just take the cot and go. But it's just $5 for the whole weekend for an extra cot. And these cots, we're happy to help set them up. They are a standard cot. If anyone here is used to the old military surplus cots, these are a newer version of them. They're called Slumberjacks. I don't remember if we got them from Cabela's or somewhere. But if you look up a Slumberjack cot, these are super tough aluminum frame cots that are super comfortable, which again, it's interesting to call a cot comfortable, but you can sleep on that thing all summer long.
I slept in Iraq 2 years on that cot.
Yeah.
Yes, they're not that bad, honestly. Okay, what we forgot, or not forgot, but so there's regular tent areas also. If you wanted to pitch your own tent. And how much is that for the weekend for that area?
Yeah, thanks for reminding me. So we have an area that if you want to bring your own tents, it's $30 for the whole weekend. Bring your own tent, bring your own everything. $30. We've got a site there, and then those sites with those tents are not far away from our shower house, which is a concrete block building that has, again, porcelain toilets as well as showers. I should also mention that the cabins do not have showers in them. However, they're not far from a shower. So there's that. But in addition to that, if you want to have the authentic Scout summer camp experience, for also $30, we have canvas wall tents on platforms with the 2 cots included, $30 for the whole weekend. So those are metal tubular aluminum frames, so there's no pole to bonk your head into when you go in, and they're a canvas tent with Velcro windows, and then the 2 Slumberjack cots in there too. So, and those are relatively as well.
They're elevated too, aren't they? A little bit, right? Or like a foot. They're ADA elevated.
So there is a section where we've got platforms that are level 2, a compacted, really fine gravel surface. So if people don't want to have a step, we've got tents there that will cover that bill too. But all of these canvas wall tents, if you can imagine a really, really nice pallet, but not a pallet, like a nice pallet. Basically a super nice heavy duty pallet. It's the best way.
I'm sorry. I'm just laughing at Dennis. Dennis, you're a jerk. I'm not laughing at you, Dennis.
I'm laughing at him too.
He just makes me laugh. But yes, so those are elevated. Those are nice. Okay, so the other thing that we didn't mention though, there are some that have a kitchenette, some that don't, but there are little mini refrigerators in there. If you drive a camper or have a pop-up camper, you could have, this is not a problem. Before people were questioning, we were kind of like, we didn't want to bother Mike and O'Carroll. We have a section that's going to be away from the tent section, and think of a scallop like a cookie cutter. I'll do a little design here. I think this is, if I remember correctly, it kind of looks like this, and so it looks like it's kind of like laid out like a tree a little bit. So like one camper will fit in here, one camper will fit in here, and then you can have your own generators, and nobody's going to be the wiser because you're going to be blurring off the other guy.
Mm-hmm.
And how much were those?
We've got so much ground to cover that, we'll make sure that, people are in a spot where you can have your generators and not bother anybody.
Yeah, so we want to keep the generators together away from the tenters, and you know what I mean? So everybody's respected.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh, and for those, just because space is at a premium, I mean, I know I just said that we've got tons of space, but, when it comes to like proper parking spaces and whatnot, that'll be $60 for the whole weekend for BYO, RV, pop-up camper. Just want to make sure that we don't give off the farm and want to make sure that there's enough space for everybody.
For that.
I couldn't hear him. I'm sorry, Jack.
That's not a bad price at all for that.
No.
And you're there.
Yeah, and you're there on right. That was our whole thing. So with Alan and I, when we sat down with Sam, first we picked him up by the scruff and threw him against the wall. No, Alan actually did that. But we sat down and
John.
yeah, well, I'm sorry, I digress. But our main concern, myself, Alan, and Sam, was to represent our hunt, represent BSA, and make it affordable because we didn't want it to look like we were nickel and diming people, and we're really not. And for the amount of even the stay, we called the closest hotels in the area, and we're like so under what they're at. Did we not? Remember in your office? Remember we sat down and I was calling like how much for this for 3 days here and all of that, and then the one KOA down the road. And then they had some kind of supper club, but there only 20 people could fit in there and whatever. So we're really trying to make it as accommodating as possible. But even at $160 for 6 people, and if you could fit 2 more people in there, you know what I'm saying, with the cots it's big. If you look at the photos, the areas these are big. These aren't small cabins. These are big cabins. You could put 2 extra people in a 6-person cabin. They're huge, and then you divide it by that. You're saving. You're not going to get it for free, but with the way it's set up, I think it's great. I'm not going to apologize for any of it. I think
never going to find it this reasonable.
No, I don't think so.
Period. I mean, with today's costs, that's very reasonable.
And at the end of the day, it all goes to support the camp and to support scouting when it comes to the lodging portion of things.
Okay. Randy DeMario is asking, will we pay for the cabins when we pay for the hunt itself on PayPal? The answer is absolutely not, because I have enough gray. I have 1 grandchild now. I got 2 more coming. I want to have hair. I don't want to be bald like the guy below me. But Sam's going to go over that right now. He's going to tell you everything you need to know.
Yeah, thanks for that. And that's a good question. So we, as a summer camp, are no strangers to a registration system. So we have, and we're going to have basically an online, I guess the best word I can look for it is, if you ever filled out a Google form or something like that, we have a registration system that allows you to go in, put in your basic information, and say, hey, I'd like to claim one of the 2-person bungalows, or I'd like to claim one of the 6-person larger cabins. And then you'll be able to pay right there. You can either pay with a credit card online or debit card. You'll be able to, if you prefer, mail a check to our office, or you could even theoretically mail in cash, although I highly recommend it being a check, just so that you've got a receipt and then there's a paper trail. That way we make sure that it all gets in the right place at the right time. So that'll be coming up. I have one of my coworkers who knows the system as well. They're going to verify tomorrow at the office that I built it correctly and that it's not going to break, and that it's all going in the right way. And then once that's all good, I'll shoot it over to John, and he will spread it to the masses. So it'll be a super, super easy point and click and pay. And if there's any questions about that, I'm sure John will be more than happy to forward all of them to me.
Yeah, for right to you, buddy.
Yeah,
right to you.
There'll be some other quick questions there. Just it's completely optional. But if people are Eagle Scouts, I'm interested to know who's an Eagle Scout.
I've got one question that came up earlier.
Yeah.
Is there a history book on the area?
There is actually a history book of the camp itself, and it's available on Amazon. Yeah, if you know those sepia tone Images of America books,
yeah,
we have one. So if you search Amazon for Makajuan, Makajawan, the book was written by Ian Hopkins and Matt Horball, and it was written in about 2012 or 2013. And I know there's a few camp folks actually that I saw pop in the chat here too. They'll know what I mean by saying a lot has happened at the camp in over 10 years. We had a big derecho blowdown in 19. We had all of that craziness in 2020, a whole lot of other stuff. But that book does a really great job pre-2010 with giving you a rundown of the history of the camp itself.
There you go.
Cool.
Frank Warren,
Alan.
you're still awake, buddy. There's your question.
Okay, Sam, that's great, but we have to move on to the hunt a little bit to let people know what's going on.
Perfect.
You'll be on again, Sam.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So,
as long as you're willing to come back.
just to give everybody what's going to happen on Saturday, we're going to have a pretty full day with open hunting. We're going to have our big seated hunt. We're going to have a night hunt. We're also planning on still having our team hunt, our one IDME hunt, which is 3-person teams, which we did last year, and it went over great. It's sponsored by NACDA. First place will be metal detectors for all 3 members of the team. Then a pinpointer for second place, and there'll be NACDA stuff for third and fourth also. That is $20 per person to see who's going to become the DigFest team champions.
DigFest Team 2 IDME 2 champion.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because we did
Team
it
ID,
last
whatever it is. Yeah. Yeah.
And how that works is there are 15 holes, and what you've got to do is the teammates have to decide what's in those holes, and the teams get points for each hole and how correct their answers are. You'll only have 2 minutes at each hole, and you have to move on. And
2? I thought it was less because 2 minutes was too much last time. But again, we're working on
and
it.
that may change to 1.5 minutes, maybe. We'll see.
Right.
What we're going to do is we're going to give the teams sign up. We're going to give you what times you have to be there for your team to hunt. So meaning we'll be doing it periodically during the day. So we're not going to take away from the seated hunts. You're still going to be in your seated hunts. So you'll still be able to get in all your targets. Then we have our lunch. We're going to have our raffling at 3:00 is what we're planning it for. And we're talking about a 3rd seated hunt, but that's not a definite as of yet. We're talking about it. I don't want to say too much about it in case it doesn't happen, but everything in there will be very, very old. That's all I can tell you at this point. Am I missing anything, John, with that? I'm trying to get it in fast because it's getting late.
Yeah, so it's the Team IDME team challenge. It'll be 2. We want to try to build it up so we can get like 3 or 4, and then we're going to have like the overall champion sometime down the line. The 3rd hunt he's talking about, we've done it before. It's obviously it's not a big secret, but we really want to do it. But depending upon the time, it's rain or shine, 100%. We will not falter ever. We've always put enough. There'll be plenty of. So we've just bought another $4,000 in silver already for DigFest. So you'll be tripping over.
Buying.
Oh yeah. You're going to be tripping over silver for sure. What else? There was something else.
So the 3rd seated hunt, it may happen, it may not. We're undecided yet. If we don't do the 3rd hunt, the coins that were going in that hunt will be added to the other hunts.
Yeah, it's all weather. It's all weather and timing depending.
Right.
Because it's big. I mean, this area is big, and it's going to be hard. It's not like Ocaro where I can blow the ranger whistle and everybody can hear me like before to bring people in. It's big. So again, like he said, not to run over what he's trying to say, but yeah, it's going to be depending. But we really want to do it because people had fun.
John, I'll have to talk with my ranger Rory about it, but you could borrow our air raid siren. We have an actual tornado siren on the property that I have a radio that I can turn it on to let people know you got to come back.
Okay, that'd be great.
Really quickly, since she's not here, can I use that when my wife starts talking to me? Okay, sorry. I digress.
So nobody talk to Danielle and tell her what he said.
Yeah.
But that's going to cover. We're going to keep everybody busy. And everybody who entered the team hunt last year, just to give you an idea, they were all scared from a couple of the teams. And the team that ended up winning were all detecting for less than 7 months. All of them. That's who came in first. And between first place and last place was a difference of 6 points. And that's it. It was really, really tight.
Yeah. And just so everybody's aware, nothing that's going to be put in this team hunt and nothing that was put in the team hunt last year was something that nothing was obscure. Everything that was put in that hole, in the holes, stuff that Alan found or stuff that I found detecting. That means everybody's found these things.
And we'll probably do the same this year. It'll only be stuff that we have found this year.
Right.
Now, I did do a harmonica read last time. I won't do that again because nobody got it. So that made it too difficult. But it was in with other items. So if they named the other items, they still got points.
Right.
But I won't do that again.
So, Josh, I don't mean to be taking over your show. I'm sorry. I think you went on and got some coffee or something, had a couple crumpets.
And how much time do we have left, Josh?
I'm still around.
Okay. I just wanted to get it in, so I've been talking as quick as I can.
Hear him snoring.
Okay. So go ahead, Josh, do it. So we can go. We can let these people go to bed.
Yeah, and we can go over the rest. If we're going to do the third hunt, we'll know by the next time we're on, probably.
Oh, yeah.
And that'll get announced. Again, the team hunt, you'll pay.
We can go. And you keep talking.
I'm sorry, but the team hunt, you'll pay there at the hunt.
Yeah. Team hunt is cash on site.
Yeah, that will not be done over the internet. We're going to ask you to sign up for it ahead of time so we know
What's
how many
that email?
teams we have.
What's the email for the team? I know you just made it.
Here, I'll give you the exact email address for it. Let me pull it up.
This is for the team hunt only.
Only for the team hunt. It is ChicagoDigFest1@gmail.com.
The number one.
Yes. Yeah, ChicagoDigFest1, not spelling it out, just the number 1 @gmail.com. And that's for you wanting to enter your team. And both John and I can get that email.
Yeah. And then Sam is going to give me the recap. Sam's going to give me the email address once the rentals are tight and the rental page is up and ready to go. I saw him do it with me on we did a Zoom call. It was really super cool, really super easy. So when that happens, I'll let you guys know. What was the other thing? That's it. I mean, we're going to be on again.
More thing. Dennis is asking about the giveaway tonight.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to, but everybody keeps interrupting me.
Sorry.
Don't
Josh,
go anywhere,
ahead.
folks.
Go ahead, Josh, quick, before they leave.
Steve, yes, they can.
Okay.
All right, everybody stop.
So,
Josh.
We're going to, really, if you are planning on participating in DigFest 2025 in Wisconsin, that's who we want to see enter. That's who we want to see win. If you don't plan on attending, then I don't know, maybe you shouldn't put an entry in. Either way, towards the beginning of the show, and you guys are now going to go, oh my God, that was so long ago, I've taken a nap. Towards the beginning of the show, John asked Chuck a question. What was the question and what was the answer? First person to get it right in the chat just won the first ticket to Chicago DigFest 25.
Free.
And that's just for registration.
Steve P., absolutely. We're going to start a list for that. Yeah, Dennis Gretencourt, he got it.
Yep, because they had one other ahead of him, and he just gave a date. He had to tell us what it was about.
Okay.
Now we've got another surprise, though. Did anybody else follow suit?
I would say right now the closest person without feeding in would have been just the answer, but that really wasn't it really is not the answer. That's like a half a point in school.
The answer.
Anybody else have the answer to put in?
Somebody put it in.
Quickly.
Quick, type it in.
Back in.
Quickly.
Back in.
Doesn't matter if you're cheating off of Dennis's paper. Type it in quick.
Somebody type it. I'm not seeing anything come up.
Sam, type it in quick, Sam.
John, you
There
put
you
it.
go.
I can't copy him that fast.
It's there.
Discovery. Illinois
L Digger.
So what Tim gets is $25 off the cost of the ticket.
Oh wait,
Second place
correction.
winner.
Correction. $25 off the early bird ticket.
Yeah, off the early ticket. So instead of the $130 for the early bird ticket, he'll be paying $105.
As long as he gets it in before the early bird deadline.
Right.
Correct.
In Illinois Digger.
Illinois Digger is second person.
Yes, Tim.
So congratulations to Dennis and Tim.
Yes.
Yeah, that did not take near as long as I thought it was going to.
I thought we'd be here for about 20 minutes, to be honest with you.
Nope. It
Really?
was a little slow in the uptake. On a mattress, Emery said.
I thought I was going to be able to ask the question and get up and go make a pot of coffee or something.
No.
Well, I want to thank Josh for letting me take over the live. I just wanted to make sure the big points got out because I know how sometimes that we get sidetracked and Sam. I wanted to take time to thank Sam, obviously, also, and I didn't want to burn his whole night because he's always working. I can barely get a hold of him, and I have his personal number. So,
And
you are
Josh,
and you
everybody's walking over
are
here.
more welcome
for having us on
anytime.
tonight. We appreciate it.
You guys walked all over each other.
Anytime.
Okay, I got it.
Looking forward to it, fellas. Big time.
Thank you, everybody. And don't forget, real quick, class, I want no money sent to me until when? March 7th. March 7th, early bird. March 7th is the early bird. March 7th through April 10th. Not tomorrow, not the next day. March 7th through April 10th.
And
I had to send back money. I had to send back money to people, and I really appreciate the enthusiasm. Don't get me wrong.
it is
I love it.
PayPal, friends and family.
PayPal, friends and family.
Yeah.
Don't put anything in. Don't put anything in the memo except for hunt, food. If you're doing 3 foods, if you're doing the meet and greet, if you're doing the hunt, and if you're doing the dinner. So you put hunt, meet and greet, dinner. That's all you write in there. That's all. Just don't even put like blah blah blah. Just the M&G, meet and greet, hunt, dinner. That's all you got to put. Because they will ding us. They'll give us the banana, and then I got to start paying $5.95, which means I have to up the price of the tickets. Okay, because if somebody sends the hunt and then somebody sends the meal, I'm going to think it's the meet and greet, and you're going to show up at the meet and greet, and I'm going to be like, you owe me $25. And then what do we do? Then I got to come back and figure it out. So I have enough pressure. I don't need to do that. So anyway, I want to thank everybody for listening to me ramble. Thank you, Sam, Chuck, and Josh for letting us on. Thank you for coming, Sam.
Thank you.
Ellen, love you. See you next Tuesday.
See you
lunch
too.
for
Thank
breakfast.
See you on
Guys,
September.
have a good one.
Yep. Alan, get out and do your exercises for Alaska.
Okay.
Goodbye, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you, Josh.
Thank you all.
Welcome back anytime, Sam. Well, that takes care of all of them. And wow, look at the time. Yes. That really wasn't bad, though, not for all the information that we had to cover, and there was a lot of information to cover. Obviously, we will have John and Alan back again sometime between now and DigFest, obviously. And Sam is more than welcome back anytime. Great gentleman to speak with. Congratulations once again to Dennis Grettencord and Il Digger, our winners for the night. Somebody was paying attention. Good job. Thumbs up to you two. Thumbs up to everyone. And if you enjoyed the show, make sure and throw us a thumbs up. It does help with the algorithm. Until then, though, I gotta go. Spring's out there somewhere, and I just need to find it. I'm waiting for it to show up. I keep waiting like a dog by the door, but so far it hasn't gotten here. Have a wonderful evening, everyone. We're out of here.
We sure are glad you found us here tonight. Thanks for dropping by and joining in. If you like metal detecting, treasure hunting, gold prospecting, or even entertaining discussion, check us out Wednesdays and Sundays, 8 p.m. Eastern, on your favorite podcast distribution services.